the functions of the pads. Now let's talk about the function of each pad. Now in play mode, each pad plays notes. But when I step on this edit foot switch, and I hold it down now, I'm going to hit pad 1. When I release the foot switch, each one of the pads do a specific function. For example, let's start with pad 1. Pad 1 changes screens. If I want to go backwards, I need to go to this pad over here, which is pad 3. This changes the direction of the screen. So notice, this is the first screen you saw. I'm going forward. Now I'm going to go backwards. And now the screens are going backwards. I want to go forwards again. I hit that direction. And now the screen goes forward. So this pad is your direction of which way the screens are going to go. And that works for each one of the pads. Okay. Now pad 2 moves that cursor around. That's the thing that blinks. That's the thing that you're going to edit. So if I go back to that original screen that you're used to seeing, this is the main screen the first time when you step on the foot switch and go into edit mode. If I wanted to go to pad 2, or let's say I would simply now hit pad 6. And pad 6 now moves, adds value, keeps on going up. If I wanted to go down, I go back to pad number 3. It tells me now, tells the DrumCat it's going to change direction. I go back to hitting pad number 6, and now it goes backwards. So backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards. Hitting pad 2 moves that cursor around. So let's say I wanted to change a MIDI note number, and I wanted to go down to 36. Well, if I hit right now pad 6, it's going in the wrong direction. So what I would simply do is hit pad number 3 and go all the way down, whoops, past it, up to 36, and that's how quick it is. Recap. So once again, these 4 pads are your main control panel pads. Pad number 1 changes the different screens, the different layers, essentially. Pad number 3 changes the direction so that it goes back. Pad number 2 is the cursor advance, so it keeps on moving to each of the editable features within the DrumCat. Pad number 6 changes the value, and again, pad number 3 reverses those value pads. Other pad functions. Besides these 4 pads, these other pads, pads 4, 5, 7, 8, 9, and 0, also do specific things. When in edit mode, there are certain functions like multi-mode that has 4 different sounds in it. That's why it's called multi. And you'll notice a number after the word MUL. And what happens is sound advance pad, which is pad 1, 2, 3, 4, moves to different sounds advances to the next sound within that pad. This pad, which is pad number 5, is called hear sound. When I strike this pad, if I was plugged into a synthesizer now, it would play that note 64. Now eventually you're going to want to save your kits, and that's what pad 7 is for. That's where you can save your kits. Pad number 8 is a pad that's called default. If you had no idea what value to put there, if you hit this pad, it throws in a number that we think is a good place to start. Pad number 9 is called duplicate. This is a quick way of duplicating pad settings we'll talk about later. And finally, pad number 10 is a pad called recall, which basically gets you back to what you were editing before you saved. I'll go into more detail on each one of these later, but this is the overview of what all the pad functions do.